Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Let's take a look at things. Current blood sugar is at 5.8. I did get a correction. I had gone all night without a correction. And just before 9 o'clock, I got a correction of... No. Correction of 0.75 of the unit, which has brought me down to 5.8. So I've ate a bit. I ate my full breakfast actually today, and I'm not feeling great, but we'll we'll move on. Still in the green for calibration, so we're doing well. I think next calibration is due at 5:28 p.m. But still, all being within range. This has gone to 92%. This is now a stellar day. This here was 8, it has gone down quite a bit. So this is awesome. I'm now between 3.9 and 10. Awesome. Have no lows. And this number now is more of where I like to be. So hopefully whatever I've had is on its way out, and I can continue on. Today I want to talk to you about hypoglycemia unawareness and how it affects me. We'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Hypoglycemia unawareness. There are people out there who say they have it, but do they really have it? Or are they just ignoring things? Hypoglycemia unawareness is your body could be tricked into not knowing when you have low blood sugar. Well, maybe tricked is the wrong word. It can be trained into thinking that you have low blood sugar. But do you really have the low blood sugars? Well, first of all, you really always have the low blood sugars. It's your body's ability to recognize them. I have had low blood sugars to the point that I start turning around and not knowing where I am, what things are going. And I've gone from this state where I could speak to you same as I would be at an 8. I could be down around 2 and I could be talking to you. And then I'd pass out. They say some people, if you increase your blood sugar levels, you can retrain your body to not feel the lows. So there's sort of really two. There's people who are hypoglycemia unawareness because of whatever reason, and there's people who are hypoglycemia because they're kept their blood sugar so low, or the lower end, that they start not to recognize, or in their minds they're just glad they don't have a high, and their bodies get used to it. Years ago, my endocrinologist tried to bring up my blood sugar so that I could start feeling. And I have to this day not being able to feel it. The person I mentioned who works here, who has type 1, also has hypoglycemia unaware. So it is fairly common. What can you do to stop it? Well, we've got to first look at, is hypoglycemia unawareness that big of a problem? Of course it is. If your blood sugars are constantly in a low state, you could drop low, and if your body isn't giving off any awareness symbols, you can end up flat on your face. Would be like on a corner of a busy street, in the middle of the busy street, face down, unaware. People assume you're fine. I have worked cash and I have ended up giving it way too much cash and change because I didn't know I was going low. Now, all hypoglycemia can't be rectified. Some can. You can get some sensation back by keeping your blood sugars a little bit higher. I'm not talking like 10 or 15. I'm talking maybe around 8, 6 to 8. And if you're up there, you will notice when you're low. Sensations can come back. It depends how long your body's been working at that rate. How low has your blood sugars been? I, excuse me, have pretty okay blood sugars now, but I still don't get the sensations back that I once had. Keeping my blood sugars normal is probably the first and foremost treatments you can have. If you find or notice that you're having a problem and not being able to identify lows, talk to your doctor. He or she will probably have you raise the blood sugar or your goals. because this will help reverse some of the effects. Excuse me. I personally miss the days that I could feel it, like I get sweaty. And the last sort of big real warning sign I used to get was my eye, I'd start to see double. And when that kind of disappeared, I think that is when I truly got hypoglycemia, unawareness, kind of started to set in. But getting back, is it that dangerous? Yes. I ended up being taken from street corners into the hospital, got glucose, got let out, ended up at the same thing. I also find, and I don't know if this is tied in, but myself, since having hypoglycemia and awareness, when I've had a severe low blood sugar, it's taken longer for me to come out of it. Even though I show 7, my body still doesn't respond the way it should. It's sort of like I defy what medical science has said. Ideally, between 6 and 8 would be an ideal blood sugar, or whatever level your doctor has prescribed. That's number 1. 2, you don't miss meals. Until this is rectified, you want to make sure your body has carbs and sugar to maintain the blood sugars. You may also have to cut back on insulin. You want to have blood sugars stable. Now, we've talked about in highs and going into DKA that when we gain control, we start dropping our numbers and you start feeling like crap. It wasn't in control. It was, I'm in control, but I feel like crap video. But for me, it's reversed a lot. I really feel like crap, and I'm sick all the time when I'm low. After a low, and it's a pain. I mean, my hypoglycemia unaware is I don't get sweaty. That used to be the first sign. When I felt like I was getting low, the first thing I do was touch my forehead. I no longer feel that sensation. Next, I would get the boop, 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 boop. And I don't get that anymore. Wonder why. Next, we keep trying to think of what I used to feel. I also had a problem, I think it was this eye, that when blood sugars happened, I used to get, as I mentioned before, double. I also had a sign that things were dropping quickly, was I get this hand going numb. And then I would get the pain starting and I'd get a migraine. And then it was 8 hours of pure hell with the pain, vomiting, and then the pain would ease up, and I'd feel better. The next day, I really had, the way I express it is I have to think to think. So don't allow your blood sugars to always be really low, because that can equate to hypoglycemia unawareness. And if you're not feeling when you're low, you're going to run into problems. Hey, I did. So talk to your doctor. He will set a realistic goal for you to aim. At the point when things like this developed, I really wasn't listening to anything doctors said. I knew better. Yeah, right. That really did me well. You can see how well that has done me. Hypoglycemia unawareness is not a cure. It doesn't mean you can stop taking insulin. It means you may have to cut back your insulin. Your diet may be increased a bit so that you're not going low. While I was learning how to live with it, the things like where yogurt and the baking yogurt and uncooked cornstarch. I guess recipes, as long as the cornstarch isn't heated, it loses its power. But uncooked cornstarch slows down the digestion, keeps your blood sugars higher. That may be an option. Speak to your doctor. I am not a doctor, not qualified to give advice. Talk to your doctor, find out about your situation, and get a plan going. You don't want to live with hypoglycemia unawareness. Have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.